The path of the protagonist is rarely as treacherous as the one walked by a man destined to be the antagonist. And in Reborn as the fated villain too, XKarnation delivers a masterclass in subverting the grand, destiny-driven tropes of high fantasy LitRPG. This isn't a story of glorious heroes saving the realm. It is a visceral, deeply intense plunge into the logistical nightmare of navigating a world where your very identity is hard-coded as the villain. The perilous collision between a rational, modern-thinking individual and a reality that demands they act out a scripted, suicidal finale, and the terrifying truth that when you have mastered the system to survive your own plot demise, you only draw the attention of even more powerful system-enforced architects. XKarnation hooks the audience instantly by constructing a high-stakes, hyper-focused trap. A protagonist who has already cheated their fated death must now consolidate their power while actively sabotaging the destiny that the system is trying to force back onto their shoulders. The narrative center zeroes in on the protagonist's methodical, high-pressure descent into the anti-plot, a series of calculated maneuvers designed to strip away the protagonist's villain tags without alerting the system's automated sentinels. As they traverse the high fantasy kingdoms of their new life, mastering complex cultivation techniques and accumulating political leverage that shouldn't belong to a doomed character, they realize that their continued survival is causing the very foundations of the world's narrative to crack. The investigation into the origin of the fated villain system quickly escalates into a dangerous, high-stakes tactical chess match as they discover that the narrative itself is a controlled simulation, and they are essentially a glitch that the system is trying to patch. Forced to juggle the logistical nightmare of managing a growing, loyal faction, the constant, suffocating threat of heroic protagonists hunting them for plot armor-fueled experience points, and the mounting, undeniable encounter with the cost of their own reality-altering defiance, they must synthesize a new way of existing, one based on tactical deception, radical, improvised spell-weaving, and an unyielding, purely human refusal to be the tragic ending in someone else's success story. XKarnation's writing style is unapologetically methodical, machine gun fast, and saturated with an intense, authentic blend of LitRPG cultivation jargon, sharp, cynical world-building wit, and high-stakes environmental dread. He builds exceptional structural tension by pairing the mundane, aching routines of his survival, optimizing his cultivation arrays, navigating the absurd expectations of the plot, and enduring the quiet, crushing weight of constant, vigilant isolation with the chaotic, nightmare-filled assaults of the system's attempts to force him back into character. The story moves forward with a relentless, momentum-driven energy, turning routine analytical probes, calculated maneuvers through the Imperial Court, and tense, high-stakes standoffs with protagonists shielded by ridiculous amounts of luck into pulse-pounding steps closer to an inevitable, reality-defining confrontation. The presentation thrives on this sharp, analytical focus, making every discovered system loophole, every executed narrative deflection, and every deep-seated fear confronted feel like a high-stakes victory for the human spirit. What makes Reborn as the fated villain 2 an exceptional entry in the villain reincarnation subgenre is XKarnation's unparalleled ability to develop a highly compelling, logic-driven protagonist whose defiance of destiny is treated as a supreme navigational asset rather than a tragic, fading memory. Watch as he transforms his experience with narrative failure into a compass, learning to navigate the chaotic system paths to outmaneuver a bureaucracy that operates with absolute, terrifying precision. As the structural walls of his reality begin to collapse and the true scope of the villain fate is exposed, the pacing transforms into a breathless, heart-pounding race to maintain the shred of truth he carries before his consciousness is permanently unstitched by the system's relentless narrative-enforcing machinery. The final act is an absolute masterclass in suspense, delivering a barrage of explosive realizations, shattered paradigms, and a spectacular, jaw-dropping climax that completely leaves the reader thoroughly stunned. For fans of thrillers demanding a brilliant, character-driven, and masterfully paced exploration of rebellion and system manipulation, this book delivers an unforgettable shockwave.